Hello traders, very good morning and welcome to today's live market profile and order flow trade analysis by Tradeducation. We are at episode 236, and before I share today's analysis, I would just like to go through a really quick disclaimer that trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Also, the information which I'm sharing is for educational purposes only and cannot be used for any trade related activity. Okay, so let me just quickly share my screen and let's understand what happened yesterday and how the potential auction development paths from today's intraday perspective, whether we are able to spot or not. Okay, so first of all, I want to put emphasis on the daily chart, and we are still continuously having one time framing up. Buyers are still showing strength, volumes are pretty decent enough, and more of news driven sentiment, vaccine, all those things are currently coming into play, and the auctions are just reaching higher. And what I'm expecting today is maybe a sort of a gap up opening, and to see continuation to the higher side, because vaccine will start you know getting so-called to the actual public by 16th of January. Okay, so in anticipation of that news, a lot of people would have been bullish, and they will take the auction to the higher side. So that's what overall I'm looking at. Secondly, I wanted to share a trade location which I was able to spot through the volume profile, and you might have also, I don't know whether you guys were able to spot or not. But what we see is, this is the value area high, and there is a small, I would say not a small, but a sort of a rejection candle which is seen. So this is a classical case where the resistance, becomes support. Okay. So this is a classical strategy, or the trading logic or technical analysis, whatever you want to call. But whenever resistance turns into support, we should wait for a sort of a confirmation. And second thing is, if it is not touching, you should just continue to the higher side. So when I was able to spot this in the first hour, I just took a long trade, keeping my stop loss around around this particular resistance level, that is 14,250. Okay, and then it was just continuing higher, higher, and higher. So I entered around 14,300. I exited at 14,350. So it was a 50 point. So it was 1:1. 50 point gain and a 50 point stop loss. So 1:1 was the risk and reward ratio. Which I was currently playing at or looking at. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share from the trade location perspective. Now, as we are continuing higher, we are seeing a sort of a trend line. Let me also add the data points from the volume profile perspective. Okay, and now I'll delete this reference, this and this reference. Okay, and let me squeeze this in so that it's pretty clear. So overall, some trading volume. So if I do a slice like this, so this is my important reference. This is my important reference. And this is the third important reference. So this sideways development or rotational development, this sort of development, and not even this sort of development. So today, anyways, I'm seeing that there will be a gap up, and if it comes down, then these will be my potential targets. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share today, and these are all from the long-term perspective, positional perspective, not from the intraday trade perspective. Okay. Now let me just mark the HV, and I think I'll mark the HV once the auction develops. But overall, what has happened, which is pretty evident from the VSA chart. So this was a good trade location to enter a long trade. First of all, we tagged the HVN. There was absorption going on as per the delta. auction was just developing sideways. And once you got the signal and once it crossed above the zero line, maybe this pullback candle or this candle is where you could have entered the trades. The problem is I don't know what is the target. Okay, so I'm just sharing you from the intraday trade perspective. This was the trade which I entered, or which any one of you should enter. Okay, uh, that is one thing. Second thing is you see this dash line. This dash line is nothing but the value. Okay, so overall, continuously the value is developing higher. So let me just minimize. I'll just show you. So if you see this chart, so this is the day when the break happened. A lot of sellers came in, and then you see continuation. 2 days we had sideways development, then continuing higher, higher, higher. Okay, so overall the inventory is pretty long. Okay, and today also I'm expecting. So let me just get the pre-open market session and see whether my expectation is correct or not. So 126 points up, 14,477. Okay, so this really changes the game. A lot of people would have gone short in the Friday's auction. Okay, so some of the references which I'm looking at is 14,470. So let's say it opens around 450. Sorry, let me draw that again. It opens around 14. It's pretty hard to draw with the mouse, but just assume that it opens around 14,450. So some of the auction development path which I'm seeing is as the auction opens with a wide gap, clearly rejection is seen and auction is just coming down, tags the yesterday's high, and then it just reverses. So this is the first auction development path. Second auction development path is it auction opens, it comes in, but it neither touches. It just it is just developing sideways, 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 and tags the high, again it tags the low, and then it is just developing sideways. Okay, so this is the second auction development path which I'm looking at or the hypothesis can happen, because as the auction will come down, again buyers will step in and they will take the auction to the higher side. Third auction development path is we continue to the downward side and tag the POC and then take the reversal. Okay, so overall we have got single prints, 3 single prints. We have got 3 HVNs, so 1, 2 and 3 HVNs. So this should act as the level of support. All these are level of support. So odds are higher that as soon as the market reaches or enters the yesterday's value, buyers will again try to step in and they will take the auction to the higher side. Okay, so the time is 9:13 and 25 seconds. So if you have got any comments, I'll be happy to take on any of your questions. And we're just sort of 1.5 minutes away before the auction opens. And today being a Monday, I'll be keeping the pre-open session a bit short, the analysis short, and because I got meetings from 9:30. Some of you might be knowing that. Yeah. So looking at this today, I might trade. I'm not looking to trade today. Today I'm occupied till 12. So maybe after 12, if I am able to spot an opportunity, I'll take the trade. Or else I'll be looking at whether the option path number 1, 2, or 3. Fourth, odds are higher. Odds are less that the gap does not get filled. And just if this happens, expect a massive drop. Expect a massive drop, in one of the days this week. Okay. So let's see. But today I'm not looking to take any trades as my bandwidth is pretty much occupied. Okay. Okay. So it's 9:14:43. So 15 seconds left before the auction opens. So let's see which way the market opens. Yeah, so I'm just Let me take this. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. So auction has opened. So let me just. Auction is opened with a huge gap up. It opened around 470 and it's just coming down. Okay. So auction path number one. So let me now clear the hypos. So auction path number one is the one which is currently in play. And we have got two HVNs. So we have got one HVN here. We have got one HVN. Okay. Let me just jump to the order flow chart. So this is the value area high, previous value. 3,500 contracts traded, 247 trapped sellers. Auction is just tagging above the high, above the previous day high and also the VWAP. Buyers and sellers, they are just coming in. And we're expecting it to continue to the lower side and tag the yesterday's high, enter this region, and maybe we see some sort of reversal. So let's see whether that happens or not. Currently sellers are active. 5,000 contracts have been traded. Pretty massive selling happening. It is just hovering around VWAP. So it seems the low will be tagged. Let's see. Yes, the low is tagged. So we should see whether the gap is getting filled or not. And I'm thinking that I'll be doing this live session maybe post market because a lot of noise is happening. So earlier I used to do after the market close. I think I'll do that because during the market close time, I'm the only one who's alone at home, so there won't be any disturbances. So that way, it will be pretty easy. Right now, a lot of disturbances, especially from my little kid, so all that. So I'll see maybe this week 14th and 15th I'll be taking an off because of Uttarayan, and maybe next week I'll be changing the timings. Instead of doing at the market open, I'll doing at the market close. So that way, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty okay. That's what I see. Because it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any difference whether I do it after 3:30 or whether I do it before the market open, because overall the analysis of the hypos are same. It's just that we don't get to know the pre-open market timing. But that's fine. That's just one data point, so you can remove that data point. So sellers are been absorbed. Selling pressure is getting absorbed. Good volume flow, 8,000 volumes. Delta is pretty negative. Again, the VWAP is getting tagged. VWAP is still getting tagged, and massive selling. So let's see, massive selling happening. The value is higher. This is the balance high. Okay, so don't take any trades right now. The absorption of supply is going on. The VWAP has been tagged, and we might be seeing some sort of rejection around VWAP. Okay, so Just seeing some sideways development around VWAP, and the first 5-minute candle has been closed. So 89.70 contracts traded, auction closed above VWAP. Despite of massive selling, buyers that came, they took the auction higher above VWAP, and now some rotational development is expected. So we have got unfinished auctions around the high, we have got unfinished auctions around the low. Let's see. Let's wait for 5 minutes to see whether we see divergence or whether we see continuation. Okay, so just hovering around VWAP, I'm not seeing any trade location. The reason why we saw a massive drop is those who went short, they would have bought, and those who went long, they would have sold. Yeah. So this is of them just getting flushed out. The BTST traders, they're just booking their profits and they're just closing their positions. And new positions are getting developed. So overall, auction opened with a good gap up. Confidence is higher from the buyer side. Value is higher. Auction is developing higher, and we are just tagging the POC and VWAP and just developing around that. Okay. So let's see whether the gap today gets filled or whether the high is getting taken out or not. So another good trade location which I'm seeing is the high of yesterday. We need to observe whether we see based on the increase in the tempo. These are the two directions which you can spot. If we see new players coming in and if we see an exhaustion from the order flow chart, then that will be a good opportunity to take a short position, targeting the today's low, and the second target is this gap. If the gap is still intact from the if it is still intact, then maybe we can target this from the positional perspective. Okay, so 8,000 contracts traded, volume is drying out. It's not even 2,000. It will be 2,000 now, and just buying happening. Those who are trying to go short, they are just buying and all that. So choppiness action. So not looking for any trades. Let this choppiness be cleared, because what market or what the auction is trying to do is clear out the positions, clear out the market orders, and search for liquidity. So right now it's just an inside bar. So if you see the first 5-minute and the second 5-minute candle, the current 5-minute candle, sort of an inside bar. And sort of a doji candle is getting formed. So the delta is still negative. Delta is still negative. Just hovering. We are just hovering around the POC, the developing the current POC. Okay, so look how the auction develops around the high and around the low, and based on that, develop your own hypos. Don't take or don't just assume or don't take it as a lining in the stone that whatever I'm saying is correct. Use your own common sense, use your own thought process, and then you can take the trades. This is based on my understanding. Yeah, and I am 50%. I would say not 50%. I'm 80% wrong. Okay, so don't take whatever I'm sharing in this live videos. Okay, so with that, I'm just ending the session for today. But so let's wait for 30 more seconds. Let's see whether we see continuation to the higher side or not. I'm waiting for it to go higher. And see some sort of rejection at 14,453, around this level. Just observing how the tempo is kicking in. Let it continue. He's putting 453 is tagged. Now seller should step in. Okay. So observe this level also 14,453. That's what I wanted to share before I end the session. So thank you, and let's catch up again tomorrow. And I think tomorrow let me start with the 3:30 thing instead of yeah. Okay, so from tomorrow we'll be doing the live session post market. Okay, so thank you, take care, and bye for now. Yeah, happy and safe.